Hey y'all, my name is Cameronfonteneaux. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to deal with negative self-talk. And so in my notebook here, I have 5 things written down that I feel like I've learned. And so hopefully this advice helps you. It helps better your life. And yeah, so let's get into the first one. Okay, so for the first thing that I've written down for how to deal with negative self-talk is going to be identify what are you saying to yourself, like what are those negative thoughts, negative phrases, or like negative words. And then, because if you watch the last video, you know we're gonna always break it down into 3 different things. And so I said to find your why. So like I said, like why are you saying these things to yourself? Like why these things popping up in your head? And then how is it affecting you? So like how's it affecting you maybe spiritually, emotionally, physically? And then how can you fix it? How can you fix it? So like obviously like how can you improve those thoughts? And so I kind of wanted to like go into this because you know I'm always going to do like a personal example. So I feel like a personal example for me could have been like skincare. So like back in like middle school and high school, I always would like deal with like acne and stuff. And so back then I used to have like negative self-talk about my skin. So I would just be like, oh, my skin's bad, my skin's ugly, like I have bad skin. I would just say like I have bad skin. I mean, I had eczema when I was younger, but still I feel like I would try to use that as like technically I guess like a crutch or whatever. So like I would just be like, oh, I have bad skin or it's hormones and like not really try to fix it. And even still when I was saying that, it still was like, I wouldn't say really like an insecurity, but it was still affecting me. And like I said, that was negative self-talk then. But as I've gotten older, I've just learned that like certain things that are like in your life or that are affecting you, sometimes you really can't control it, but it's like you can control how you can react to it. And so that was kind of like for my why. So it's like, okay, why am I saying my skin is bad? Well, you know, maybe I'm comparing my skin to other people or like some of my other friends, they don't have as much acne or, you know, say social media, you see some people, they never had eczema, they never had acne, they don't have bumps, they don't have discoloration. And so I feel like that was my why, was because I was like comparing myself to other people. And not even that, it was just like I was just being so hard on myself because it's like acne is a thing. And then especially when you're in high school, you know, puberty and all that. So like that's kind of, you know, hormonal stuff that you really can't change. But it's like still you need to be able to understand that why. And then how was it affecting me? Well, you know, it was affecting me physically because, you know, I have low confidence. I don't think, you know, like people are, I wouldn't say people weren't liking me, but I would just be like, say if like, I would just say, for example, like a girl, I'm like, well, if a girl is to talk to me, you know, what is it? My face. So like, say if I take a picture and I just don't feel like it's my best picture, well, is it still my face? Is it my bumps? Is it the oil? You know what I mean? So I feel like it was affecting me in a physical and kind of like emotional aspect. But the most important part is how we can fix it. And so it was literally like this summer, I took the time to like research. And so I was like, okay, well, I know I have oily skin. I don't have dry skin. You know what I mean? That's the first step. You need to know what type of skin you have. Also, I make sure to go through like TikTok. I research some products on TikTok. I research stuff on like Google and stuff. I literally had a whole notepad. It wasn't this one, but it was a whole notepad. I literally wrote down, okay, like this is my cleanser. This is my toner. What serums were for me? Even when it came to serums, I researched, okay, what serums are good for oil, acne. It's like you have to be active in it. Just how I was saying like my other previous sit down videos, the same thing. Like if you're a Christian, right? We could continue to pray for so many different things. And at the end of the day, it's like, yes, praying is important. Yes, God is hearing you, but it's like, okay, when are we going to be active in it? You know what I mean? Just like the first things I said, find your why and how's it affecting you. So, okay, you've already took the first steps to identify it, but when are we going to start making that change? Okay, we got to start being active. We can't just keep saying stuff and then we're not doing it. You know what I mean? Just how it's like, I know everybody that did the New Year's resolution and we're about to go in October. So have we did the things we did for this year? Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? And so, but to go back to my skin, I researched it. I did all that. We went to the store. I went to the store with my mom. I had this whole notepad, and I was like, "Mom, might be a little expensive, but it's like we got to get the skin together." And she understood, and boom, I done bought a whole line of products. Now my face is as clear as ever, and then even my friends have noticed that too, because you know they've been seeing me through high school and stuff. And I'm like, it's all it takes is just some effort. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I can't control how I have acne. If some people out there, they just have to throw water on their face, and that's it. Some people have to put a lot of moisturizer. Some people have to control a lot of oil like I do. It's okay. You know what I mean? I feel like that's another thing that we have to learn is like trying not to be so hard on ourselves, especially understanding different aspects. Like I said, some people, they had, you know, went through the puberty stage well. Like some people didn't have that much bad skin. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that was my first thing. And so for the second thing that I want to talk about is the impact of negative self-talk. And so the only thing that's going to be kind of under this one is like whatever you tell yourself is whatever you're going to become, in a negative way. And it's the same thing about what I said about the last part. Like if I was just going to sit there and be like, oh, my skin is ugly, this, ugly, that. And it's like, of course I'm going to feel ugly. If you're going to say your clothes are ugly, no matter even if you put a good fit on or not, even it's just if your mindset is negative, you're always going to think something negative no matter what. If you're going to always look at something in a negative aspect, a negative mindset, in a bad way, in a bad mindset, everything around you will always be negative. Your surroundings, people, your emotions, everything will always be negative. And then I wanted to try to do like a different example, kind of like, I guess, more of like a literal example. And so I want to bring up my book, Psycho-Cybernetics. I picked this back up in like a vlog a long time ago. I need to finish it, but I've been busy with school. But Psycho-Cybernetics, it is so good because it just really breaks down like the human emotions in kind of like a scientific way. And so for the one main thing that I want to talk about, I have it put on my computer, and it talked about that in Psycho-Cybernetics, it mentioned the idea of a feedback loop. And it said that in Psycho-Cybernetics, it is emphasized that our mind functions as a goal-seeking mechanism with a feedback loop. And in the case of depression, the feedback loop operates in a negative manner. Negative thoughts and belief about oneself create negative emotions, which further reinforce negative thoughts, creating a continuous loop. And so, yeah, and I just wanted to use that as an example, like I said, a literal example to back up the idea that the impact of negative self-talk is it's always going to be negative no matter what. Like I said, if you're always going to look at something in a bad example or a bad way, it's going to produce bad, right? I even try to do this, with college, for example. Like this week, it was super duper busy, super duper stressed, and I could have had like a good morning, but because I already have negative feedback, I'm in the negative feedback loop. It could be one little thing that might upset me, and then boom, my whole day is over. Like it was literally just yesterday. I had a good morning, good workout. I was flowing, and somehow I got fully dressed. And I literally locked myself out, and when I tell y'all the walk to the card office where I had to go get a card to unlock my room, I was just so angry, so mad. But then I had to just like kind of calm down and just realize, once again, try to get out the feedback loop that like at the end of the day, I'm human. People have gotten locked down multiple times. That's why the card office is on campus anyways. You know what I mean? And it's okay. And at the end of the day, I just went, got back in my room. It was like 5 or 10 minutes, and I went on my day, and boom. And I had a great day yesterday. You know what I mean? So it's like that small little thing didn't ruin my day because I didn't let it. But at the end of the day, if I would have had a negative mindset, I could have just been like, well, that's it. I could have easily just said, well, forget this day, boom, 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 that. And meanwhile, that was like at like 11 or 12 o'clock. So I still had all the time in the world to go to class to study. You know what I mean? But like I said, whatever you tell yourself is negative, it's what you're going to believe, right? You're in your gym journey. If you're going to sit there and just be like, you're getting stronger, you're getting faster, stamina's increasing, but you still are just like, well, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm not as strong, I'm weak. It's like you could have hit a PR, but because you're always so negative, you didn't even notice. You know what I mean? Like that's even happened with my YouTube. I'll just sit there and be like, oh, this video had low views, this low view, that. Meanwhile, I didn't hit a subscriber milestone or goal. But it's like, no matter what you do, if you're always going to have a negative mindset, things are always going to outcome negative no matter what. And so, yeah, that was what I was going to say for number two. And so for my third one, we're going to actually be like getting into a solution. But so for my third one, it was going to be how to grow a positive mindset. And so this one, I'm going to be able to break it into like different parts. And so one, it was build things to encourage you, build your positive feedback loop. And then for the last one, reforming like positive self-talk. And so for the first one, when it says to like build things that encourage you, right? Like going into the gym, instead of just sitting there saying like, oh, you're weak and all this stuff, like take progress pictures, right? So like because that's one thing I've learned, that like I feel like humans, we always expect growth to be so rapid and so fast, and so we need kind of physical things in our environment or in our life to show us that we are growing. And so that's why I was like, if you're in the gym, you can be taking like progress pictures. So say you started working out in January and it might be May or something, and so you're just having a negative vibe, a negative moment, you can look back at, say, the pictures you took in January, February, March, April to May. In those 5 months, you grow, right? Say you're trying to lose weight. say you put in your notes, like you were just tracking your weight of those 5 months and you can physically see that you lowered it. Or if you see pictures, say, your clothes were starting to go down, you know what I mean? You're starting to be able to fit in certain things. Or say if you're trying to grow muscle, you could just see in those 5 months that you're growing the muscle, you know what I mean? You're getting stronger. Or say if you're tracking like how much weight you did, you can see the number increasing as you're going, through the months. So that's what I was saying, to like do things to encourage you. Like for me, with my YouTube, I have this thing called like my content book. I was supposed to write this in my content book, but I have a content book where I just put like my ideas down, or like just jot some thoughts in there. And I literally have like specific dates of like when I hit a certain subscriber goal. So if I'm just sitting there thinking that like, oh, I'm not growing, or like this isn't nothing, I'll literally go to my notebook and then I'll be like, oh wow, like I didn't know I hit 100 subscribers that long ago. Then I hit 200 a little sooner. Then I hit 300 a little sooner. And then I just hit 400. So just having things like implement in your environment, like I think it was Arrington, he makes that motivational video sometimes. I literally remember in a video a long time ago, he literally was like, he put like positive affirmations or like sticky notes on like his bathroom mirror. So, as soon as you get up, everybody brush their teeth, go to the bathroom. So it's like, if you're already seeing on the mirror, like, oh, I'm powerful, I'm beautiful, I'm strong. It's like, you're like, you know what I mean? It's in your environment. You're already seeing it. That's one thing I learned about Atomic Habits. If y'all know about that book, y'all should get it. But that was one thing that I learned from like one of the beginning chapters, is that like you have to change your environment to be successful. You know what I mean? Like those little different things are gonna help your life. Even now, like my desk is here, but my bed is over there. And at first I didn't like the setup when I first got into this room, but then I really started to like it, because now when I try to like wake up at 6, my phone is all the way here. So like, no, my bed is there. I have to get all the way out my bed just to turn the phone off. So it's like, I'm not just going to turn it off over there and still be asleep. But like I said, you have to set up your environments to be successful, if that makes sense. And then for the second one is building your positive feedback loop. So it's the same thing, like I said in psycho-cybernetics, so what I said about the negative. Whether you're going to put positive things in your environment, it's going to be positive, right? At the end of the day, like I said, I got locked out. I easily could have just been like, okay, this is a mistake. We'll just do better next time. Boom. Like immediately, boom, now it's positive. Now I'm just going on with my day. But if I'm going to constantly sit there and be thinking about how I got locked out of my room from 12 to 5, knowing that that happened 5 hours ago, like, you know what I mean? Of course, your day is going to be bad. So it's the same thing about like being in a positive environment, but also having a positive feedback loop, because those things that, you just implement it in your environment, those will constantly keep you positive, constantly keep you in the positive feedback loop. So it's the same thing about negative. Whatever you put out there that's going to be positive, it's going to come right back. And then the last one is going to be reforming self-talk. And it's just the same thing, like I said, instead of having negative self-talk, just always try to have like a positive mindset. Like, just have to understand that I know I do this too, but I'll just be like, oh, bad things happen to you. Like, no, bad things happen to everybody. Like, calm down, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be thinking, well, I don't deserve good things. Well, why don't you? You know what I mean? So just reforming positive self-talk, having a positive environment, positive things to remind you, you know what I mean? So just always being positive. Like I said, wherever you put yourself out there, it's going to come back to you. If you have a negative environment, you're going to be negative. If you have a negative mindset, you're going to be negative. If you have a positive mindset, you'll be positive. If you have a positive environment, you'll be positive. But yeah, so that's what I was going to say for number 3. And then for the fourth thing I was going to talk about, and I feel like in every video, all the topics obviously relate to the main theme. But for the fourth one I was going to talk about is to make sure you have a good support group. And this kind of relates to what I said about the environment. But like I said, whatever you're going to have around you is, just as I said, whatever you put out there in your environment is going to reflect on you. It's the same thing about your like friends and your family. Like, I know if I were to sit here and say, I think I might have mentioned this in another video, but if I literally sat there and posted like, oh, I'm going to delete my YouTube channel, I know at least 1 or 2 people gonna call my phone, text me, or like, I know if I had told my mom that, she'd be like, oh, why? You know what I mean? Because I know people want to see me do great. I know people want to see me do good. And that would just help uplift me. Or like when I see some of my friends comment, or like some of my friends engage on my, content, or like when, say, I hit a new subscriber goal and people would text me, or like, because I used to post the majority of the stuff on like my story on Instagram. And so when people like heart it or they react to it, You know what I mean? It's just like I know my friends want to see me do good, but once again, if I had people that is like, oh, your videos suck, this and this, like, of course I would try not to listen to it and focus to it, but like no matter what, like the negativity, you're always going to like notice it and peep it. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you could try to ignore it all you want, but it's like, who doesn't want to be around positive stuff? You know what I mean? So I just saying, make sure you have a good support group, family, friends, peers. And then, like I say, you become who you're around. Like, I be saying this in all of my videos, but if you're going to be around people who smoke, drink, party all the time, what do you think you're going to do? You know what I mean? If you're around people who are closer to God, trying to get into the word, staying in their faith, do you think you're going to get closer to God? Of course you will. You know what I mean? That's just like me. Like, I be trying to find more people who do YouTube stuff because I'm like, okay, if I see their stuff going up, maybe I could learn something from them, or like maybe I could give them some tips, they could give me some tips, and we could just kind of, bounce some ideas off each other, like just trying to grow, you know what I mean? Like, I know people literally on campus be like, oh, I be seeing your stuff and and I'd be like, oh, thanks. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's just the little things. Like, I was just in the dining hall, like, I think it was a day or two ago, and I was literally, once again, I was having not really a bad day, but I just came from class at a 7 o'clock class. I was tired, hungry, and I was just so, like, the day, I was just so over. I was like, bro, I'm ready to go to my dorm, go to sleep. Like, I was just so tired. And I had ran into my friend in the dining house. I was like, let me just sit down, chat with him. Meanwhile, it was two people by him. And they're like, oh my God, like, I've been wanting to tell you that I'd be seeing your videos and stuff. And it was the way, like, it was definitely like the frown went upside down. Like, I was just so like over it. But as soon as they said that, I was like, let me fix my, I was like, fix your face, lock in. And I was just talking to them, and they were just so chill, nice, got their Instagrams. And so, but like I said, it was little things like that. Like, of course, I knew my friend wanted me to win, but like I said, it's people out there that want to see you win, people out there that want to see you successful. So you have to surround yourself by like-minded people, people that are doing stuff, benefiting. It's just like, how you gonna try to get into the gym and then everybody around you lazy and unhealthy? That don't make no sense. You know what I mean? So it's like, just surrounded by yourself with people who are goal striving, who are the go-getters, the leaders, not followers, because like I said, all those things are going to reflect on you. A lot of times people will sit there and say like, oh no, it doesn't matter. But no, like, as I've been reading these books, especially psycho-cybernetics or like atomic habits, where like these people do studies, and like they're actually, because like in these books they'll actually use like specific data, specific statistics. Like, they study these different habits and interactions with human beings. Like, this stuff matters. You might just sit there and just be like, oh, that's my friend and that's somebody I'm cool with, but like, no, whoever you're surrounded by, it reflects on you. And so, yeah, that's what I want to talk about for number 4. And so, for the last thing that I want to talk about is to consume certain media. And I might mention those in all of my videos, but like, it's really important because, like I said, I just feel like that goes back into the environment thing. Like, whatever you're watching is also going to reflect you. Like, I think it was fall of sophomore year. It was just such a tough month for me. It was just a whole lot of things going on, friendship stuff, classes, faith. It was that month was still a hot mess still to this day. I don't know what was going on. But I just was sitting there, remember, like, I was looking stuff on TikToks, watching certain videos, and it's like, I don't have no business watching this. So like, people that be talking about their own problems, their own depression, like that. I mean, depression ain't gonna help depression. You know what I mean? Negativity ain't gonna help negativity. So I'm like, don't be doing that. Or like, a big thing that I cannot stress enough, I literally wrote this down, is stop going to social media for your problems. Stop. Like, my friend, she had told me this too, especially if it's like religion or faith based, like whatever God you believe in, go to your God. I'm Christian, so it's like, if you're struggling, pray. Like, go pray. Get off of TikTok, get off of Instagram, please go pray. Please, I'm begging, please go pray. Sit down, go read that word, pray. I cannot stress that enough, because that is one thing that I do so bad. Like, for example, the school, you know what I mean? I've been having trouble going to school. I literally caught myself. I was on like 2 or 3 TikToks, and people were like, yeah, I'm just struggling with school, struggling with school. And then I was like, well, I'm not watching this. I just clicked in my head. I'm like, I'm not watching this. Next thing you know, I was like, okay, right. Always just try to like swip the switch, or flip the switch, um, in your head, because, like I said, I was looking on the TikTok, and I was just going down on like, oh, I'm not good in school, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, wait, all right, if I know this, let me look up how can I do better, right? If I have ADHD and I'm struggling, how to work with ADHD. Y'all, while I was I saw like 10 TikToks, like this black girl, I don't even know who she was. The videos are like a year or two old. I think she said she had ADHD, autism. When I tell y'all, I didn't save one or two of her videos. I'm talking about she was breaking down a bunch of stuff you could do, different methods. And I was like, maybe I could try that. And I was like, okay, maybe why this doesn't work for me. That see, like, be positive. If you're gonna have negative stuff on your For You page, what do you think is gonna be negative? Like that literally happened this morning. I got on TikTok. I'm eating my oatmeal, about to get ready for this video. And the first thing I open on the app is someone dying, someone dead. And it's like, not to be rude, not to be no respect for them, but I was just like, oh, I don't suggest that. I'm like, no, like, I just don't want to hear about death in the first wake up of the morning. You know what I mean? Simple things like that are like, it's just I know just with Marcellus, then it's be a lot of racism and stuff like you know what I mean. I feel like it is important to spread awareness for those things or like for the school shooting and stuff. But I just feel like if that's all you're going to see every single day, that stuff is gonna get draining. So it's like, yeah, it's okay, raise your awareness for like racism out there, prejudice out there, but it's like if that's all you're going to do, that is going to get draining. So it's like you have got to separate yourself from that. Like literally today was like, I wasn't trying to be rude to the girl, but I was just like, I can't be seeing this. Like as soon as I open my phone, someone done died, tragic, trauma. I don't want to like that stuff is so negative. What I mean? Like I said, it's nothing wrong with spreading awareness and support, but it's like that stuff can become draining. And so that's why I was saying, like, just having like a positive For You page, or I think it's called a Hope Court on TikTok. Like, watching some of those videos, or like even for me, I feel like back then, especially when it came to YouTube, I feel like I just watched anything and anybody. Like no, like now I try to do like good self-help videos, people who give advice to me, or like I've talked in my previous videos, like Avery B, Phil Kofer, like just a lot of people at Arrington Allen, like just a lot of people out there who try to put like positive stuff or like Christian based stuff, so like it can reflect off of me, or just even some people that I watch to just like wind down, chill to like I just feel like if you consume anything or everything, and you be watching anything or everything, like that's gonna output in your life. So yeah, just being careful what you watch and like your media, seeing on Instagram, because I know people, a lot of people don't really like Instagram because they'd be like they're comparing themselves to people. But then I remember people said this on TikTok. It's like it depends on who you're following. You compare it to. Like you could be watching dog reels. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's just me, but I be seeing reels where people be out in the safari, people be out with swimming with whales. Like you could be watching anything else but like negative and depressing stuff. But like I said, it's your environment. Wherever you're going to see on a daily basis, wherever you're going to consume on a daily basis, that will consume you as well. And so, yeah, so that does conclude this video. I was trying to wrap up some of the points a little bit because I just don't like having to sit down to be pushing an hour, 45 minutes, 30 minutes. It's like, okay, I know the topic. Y'all clicked on this video so y'all can learn, but you ain't trying to be here all day. But I just wanted to go over all the points that I said. So for number one, I talked about identifying what are you saying to yourself and like a negative aspect. Find your why. How's it affecting you? How can you fix it? Just like I put about the plant analogy. At the end of the day, the first step is, okay, we put the plant in the ground, but if we don't give it no sunlight, we don't give it no water, no plant food, is the thing going to grow? Number two, I said knowing kind of the knowing or like the impact of negative self-talk, like whatever you're telling yourself is what you become. And then I talked about the negative for loop with psycho-cybernetics, like if you always put negative images in your head, always saying negative stuff, it's just a cycle. It's always going to be something negative. It's always going to be a negative output, negative input. It's going to always be a cycle. Then for number three, this was like us fixing it. And so I said how to grow a positive mindset, build things that encourage you, right? Like if you're going to the gym, do progress pictures so you can always go back and look at like, okay, I am growing. Even when you don't feel like you're growing, you am. Or like say if it's school and you start a new study habit, you can go back and look at the grades and be like, my grades starting to increase when I started doing this, this, and that. Once again, identifying the problem, but implementing a solution, and then building a positive feedback loop, just like negative. If you tell yourself positive things, positive aspect, you're looking through everything through a positive lens, it's going to be a cycle, a positivity, a cycle. And then reframing your positive self-talk. Then for number 4, make sure you have a good support group. People say friends and family don't affect you. Yes, it does. Whoever you surround yourself with is what you will become. So like I said, that's family or friends, and then your environment, changing your environment for the better, building your environment for success, having successful people, successful talks, successful just words, phrases, everything, uplifting people, everything. And then for the last one, it was consume certain media, like whatever you consume, regardless if it's negative, that negative stuff will consume. If you're always looking at people dying, death, trauma, traumatic, depression, just negative stuff, like that stuff is going to affect you. So always try to like consume good and certain media and positive media. And yeah, so that was kind of all the things that I talked about for dealing with negative self-talk. I always try to make like videos, that stuff that I go through, so it could be like a little easier to explain. So hopefully you guys got this point. I hope this wasn't too long. I really be trying not to make super long videos because I was already have 45 to hour vlogs. So I'll be trying to have long videos, and then for the short videos for people who like shorter videos. So hopefully you guys got all the information in this and it didn't seem that it was rushed and it wasn't clear. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I put in my vlog description last time that I made a playlist, but I just made a playlist with all my self-help videos. So if you want to go down and kind of just watch whatever is, I do Christian-based videos. So if you're a Christian, you can watch some of those videos. But if you're not, I have other videos like I did negative self-talk. The last one I did like discipline and consistency, and that did really good. That was my most viewed video regarding a sit down, and I was very surprised. But once again, positive. I think positive. If I think the video was gonna do bad, I was gonna edit it bad, and it was just gonna come out bad. But I prayed, and I thought I was gonna do good. And look, positive. Remember what I said about the loop? But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want any other type of videos with other different topics. I'm gonna try to do like different things. I'm gonna try to do some things that I don't go through. So like I might talk about like anxiety or like how to be like more social, because I'm a very social person, but I've never not been social or like had social anxiety and stuff. So but y'all let me know if y'all want some different type of topics. But yeah, semester is going well. I think we've already been a month into school. Very stressed, very difficult, but I'm gonna try to stay consistent for y'all. So yeah, I always have a long outro as well. So let me wrap the intro up. So, but yeah, continue to like, comment, subscribe, and we already hit 400, so it's gonna be road to 500. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna see you on the next video. Make sure I be positive and grow those minds.